No doubt you're already decently leveled heading into the shadow of the Erdree, but once you enter the Shadow Realm, you're basically starting back at level 0. And if you run straight in and start challenging bosses, you're probably going to have a bad time. So before you jump in, you'll want to spend at least some time leveling up your character. And I've mapped out a quick and efficient route to pick up 16 Scadutree Fragments, which will get you up to level 9 before ever having to face a single boss. And along the way, we'll grab some Revered Spirit Ashes, Larval Tears, talismans, and other key items, as well as open up some shortcuts to other areas of the game. I promise you, this will absolutely get you set up on the right foot without even breaking a sweat. So let's get started. And to kick things off, we're going to start right here from the main DLC starting point, the Gravesite Plainside of Grace, and before we go any further, we're going to want to make sure that it's nighttime. And once we've got that taken care of, we're going to head east along the road until we get to the Church of Consolation. In the Church of Consolation, there are 2 Scadutree Fragments at the base of this statue inside, but you will need to get through a decently tough fight to get them. Now the easy route is to just lead the enemy out of the church and then run in and grab them, but you can also summon your Spirit Ash here to help take them on if you want. And behind the church, there is a cave with the Blessing of Marika inside, so while you're here, be sure to grab that too. To get to our next location, follow the road back out the way you came, but stay to the right. Once you come to the opening, there should be a glowing area to the right where you can pick up a Larval Tear. Continue straight past that, and up ahead you'll find a statue with the Revered Spirit Ash that you're gonna want to pick up. These are used to level up your spirit summons as well as torrent, so we want to be on the lookout for these as well. After you pick that up, keep hugging the edge and you'll come up to a cemetery with a shadow guy holding a pot over his head. Kill him and he'll drop another Scadutree Fragment. From there, we'll head northwest and follow the road. Watch out for the Furnace Golem and you'll come to the 3-path cross site of Grace, which will have some NPCs you can talk to and yet another Scadutree Fragment. From there, head west through the big gate, up the first staircase, and just before the second staircase, you'll see the main gate cross site of Grace, another NPC to chat with, and another Scadutree Fragment. From there, we'll want to turn around and head back down the stairs, but this time before we reach the gate, turn right and follow this path along the side of the cliff. Once we come through to the other side, you'll want to grab this Cliff Road Terminus site of Grace, and from there, continue forward along the road until eventually you'll come to another cemetery with another Shadow Pot person. Kill the Shadow person and claim yet another Scadutree Fragment. From there, head back along the road toward the Cliff Road Terminus site of Grace, and just past it to the right, you'll see some water in an abandoned house. And just before the house, there's another statue with another Revered Spirit Ash. Head straight across the street and up the cliff, and if it's still nighttime, you'll find another glowing area with another Larval Tear. And right next to that, you'll see a Servant of Rot that you'll want to make sure not to kill. Talk to him and he'll give you the Forager Brood cookbook and a Black Firefly. From there, we'll want to fast travel back to the 3-path cross site of Grace and head northeast across the Elec Great Bridge. Once you get to the other side, you'll see a statue of Marika and another Scadutree Fragment. Just past that, you'll want to grab the castle front side of Grace to the right, and then continue northeast along the path on foot. You'll see a big troll at the top of the stairs, but we'll want to just run past him and go to the left. Head up the stairs, around the left side, and go through the opening in the rocks. You'll come to another staircase which is guarded by a Black Knight, but you'll want to just run past him and grab the Scadutree Fragment to the left, and then the Castle Innis site of Grace, which should also break the Black Knight's aggro. From there, we're going to fast travel back to the castle front site of Grace, and this time we're going to head right through the camp and then left at this fork in the road. Follow this road pretty much straight until you reach the end, which will lead you to yet another Scadutree Fragment, an NPC that you can talk to, and the Pillar Path site of Grace. Now from here, we'll need to travel to the Cerulian Coast, which is this area to the south. It's easy enough to get to from here, but it's a little off the beaten path. From the Pillar Path cross site of Grace, head back north along the road when you get to the opening. Instead of going back left the way we came, head right and you'll see a path here down by these rocks. Follow this path all the way until you get down to the water at the bottom. You'll see a giant poison flower on the right with a cave opening that you'll want to head into. Head inside the cave and stay to the left, and follow the path through the tunnel, and eventually you'll come to another altar with another Revered Spirit Ash. And just past that, you'll come to the Elec River Cave site of Grace. Continue left from here and head down the waterfall using the rock path. Once you get to the bottom of the first section, head left, past the Gravebirds, and then eventually slide to the right. Continue again down this rock path until you reach the Elec River downstream side of Grace. And then make your way again down the rock path until you've reached the bottom. Now there are some decently powerful enemies down this way, so you'll probably want to avoid them. To do that, just continue along the river until you see this opening along the right, where finally you've reached the Cerulian Coast and the Cerulian Coast side of Grace. To get to Scadutree Fragment number 10, head pretty much straight through the swamp and past the dragon and up the road. You'll pass the map fragment for this area, which you'll want to be sure to pick up, and then head to the left at the top of the hill. You'll see the Cross of Marika with another Scadutree Fragment and the Cerulean Coast side of Grace. Now our next Scadutree Fragment is a little tricky to get because it's decently guarded, but to find that one, fast travel back to the Cerulean Coast side of Grace, and this time, instead of going straight, we're going to head right. Now you'll definitely want to be careful through here because there are some enemies in here that could potentially one-shot you, but if you stick to the right, you should be fine. Now straight ahead where my marker is the Cerulean Coast west side of Grace, so if you want, you should head up there and grab that. But we're going to go ahead and head right through this opening here. Stick close to the left and then hang a left just past the waterfall and you should see a cave opening, which will have our 11th Scadutree Fragment. Now there is an enemy in there that you'll want to watch out for, but you shouldn't have too much trouble just running in there and grabbing the Scadutree Fragment. And once we've picked that one up, we're done with the Cerulean Coast and we'll want to head back to the castle front side of Grace. Now from here, we're going to head to Scadu Altus, which is the next main area of the game. Typically, you would need to go through Castle Ensis to get there and face Renala, but we're going to go ahead and bypass that because there is an early game shortcut to get there. Now, a word of caution. If we make our way too far north towards the Shadow Keep, you'll get a message saying that a great rune has been broken. This is ultimately an advancement of the main story and has endgame and side quest implications that you probably don't want to lock yourself out of if you're just starting out. So to be safe, we're going to avoid this area completely and just focus on some of the immediate Scadutree Fragments south of the Shadow Keep. So from the castle front side of Grace, we want to stay to the right this time at the fork in the road, and once we get to the second fork, you'll see some sort of battle going on to the right and we'll want to stay to the left. Follow the road and pass through the poison swamp. Up ahead in the distance, you'll see a shack, which is the Elder's Hovel. That's the direction that we're heading. And at the Elder's Hovel, you'll be able to pick up the Talisman of Dread, which I think is one of the better new talismans in the game that helps enhance magma attacks, so be sure to head over there and pick that one up. But once you've done that, head up here and smash the swirly rock, which is going to open up the spirit spring that we just passed. Head on up that, and then around to the corner to the next one. Up here, we're going to see the Fort of Reprimand on the left, but we're going to go ahead and land over to the right. And if you jumped past it, be sure to turn around and grab the Blessing of Marika behind you. Head around the castle and just past the road, we'll grab the Morth Highway South side of Grace. From there, head through the opening and up ahead, there's going to be a dragon fighting some soldiers, but we're just going to go ahead and let them fight it out amongst themselves. If we stay to the right, up ahead there's going to be a rock that we'll want to destroy, which will activate the Spirit Spring. And then turn back around and jump up the spring. Head up there and straight down the road, and up ahead you'll see a Cross of Marika, Scadutree Fragment number 12, and the Scaduview Cross side of Grace. And once we have that, we'll head back the way we came, down the road, past the Grave Birds, and down the Spirit Spring. Stay to the right around the edge, and eventually we'll come to the Morth Ruins. And straight up ahead, we'll see another altar with another Revered Spirit Ash. Now there is a Deathblade here that I find really annoying, so we're going to want to try to avoid them. So we're going to go ahead and swing around this tree, jump onto this rooftop, and then pick up the Shadow Realm rune. And after that, we'll continue straight and we'll see another Shadow Pop person that we can kill and collect Scadutree Fragment number 13. From there, head north up the road and over to the right, and we'll find the Morth Ruin side of Grace, Scadutree Fragment number 14, and the NPC Dryleaf Dane. Now, Dryleaf Dane isn't much of a talker, but if you do the May the Best Win emote in front of him, you'll be forced to fight him, and if you win, you'll get Dane's hat as well as the Dryleaf Arts hand-to-hand weapons. But from there, we'll head pretty much right across the street into this soldier's camp, and right in front of this statue of Marika will be Scadutree Fragment number 15. And for our last fragment, we'll head north and stay close to this cliff because we don't want to trigger the breaking of the rune, and once we get around the bend, head back south and you'll see another Cross of Marika, the High Road Cross Site of Grace, and Scadutree Fragment number 16. Now this should be enough to take you all the way to level 9, but if you do want to venture a bit further north, there are 3 additional Scadutree Fragments before you reach the Shadow Keep. Now, I don't want to be responsible for breaking anyone's runes, so I'm not going to cover that here, but hopefully this is enough to get you started. And hey, if you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a like and consider subscribing, because I have a lot more Shadow of the Erdree content planned that you're not going to want to miss. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.